are currently en route to Lisse, or is it Lisse? It's the largest flower garden in the world, and we'll be there very soon. The garden is divided into several different sections. There's one section where you'll find a windmill. In another part there's a lake. There's over 400 varieties of tulips. There's also hyacinths, daffodils, and other flowers I don't even know the names of. So we're just walking through the gardens now. It's nice and sunny. The garden covers over 30 hectares. In the spring there's over 7 million bulbs. So as you can imagine, it's very, it's amazing. As you can imagine, the gardens are divided into different areas and you can get around with help from this handy map. There is a greenhouse in the very middle with lots and lots of tulip varieties, the Wilhelm Alexander Pavilion, and then to the north and the west, most farthest area, there are also greenhouses. There's one that shows just orchids, there's another one for cut flower displays, there's cafes throughout the park, and there's even a windmill. Every year the Garden of Europe is open to the public for a blissful period of just 8 weeks. Easy to reach as a day trip from Amsterdam, Leiden or Haarlem, Keukenhof is a celebration of colour and all things floral related. From the rather traditional Dutch tulip to sweet-scented hyacinths, the sunny daffodil, the rarer amaryllis, and even a pavilion that simply houses the widest collection of orchid varieties you're ever likely to admire. There's something for every botanist enthusiast when it comes to Keukenhof. The gardens themselves can be found within the region of Duin en Bollenstreek in southern Holland. The name is literally translated as Dune and Bulb region on account of the stunning dunes such as those of Scheveningen and the impressive tulip fields such as those surrounding Lisse, which is where Keukenhof is. Other villages of note in the Bulb region include Bennebroek, Heemstede and Noordwijk. Wow, I'm really not sure I said those right. This particular area of the Netherlands rose to prominence since the peaty soil in the area is great for growing flowers, and in particular, of course, the tulips. Indeed, some of this part of the Netherlands was reclaimed land from the sea by way of polders. You see, once upon a time, the flat, expansive landscape was once part of the seabed. Through water drainage and other flood control methods, the water was removed, leaving behind rich and fertile soil, which is perfect for, you guessed it, growing tulips. Though the tulip is as synonymous to the Netherlands today as cheese, clogs, stroopwafels, or the colour orange, it wasn't always this way. Something you may well not know is that tulips are not native to the Netherlands. They were actually first imported from Turkey during the 16th century in a craze that came to be known as tulip mania. At this time, a tulip could cost as much as a house, even in a city as expensive as Amsterdam. The name Keukenhof itself means kitchen garden, and the name derives from the fact that during the Dutch Golden Age, the area was used to grow herbs for Jacqueline, Countess of Hainaut, who resided in the nearby Hainaut Castle. Prior to this period, the area was used as 15th century hunting grounds. Now, the castle still stands and is known as Keukenhof Castle, though you'll have to buy separate entrance tickets to visit. The current garden was established in 1949. The then mayor of Lisse wanted to create a space where growers from the Netherlands, Europe, and beyond would be able to display and exhibit their wares, including hybrids and new varieties. and even further the export of flowers from the Netherlands. Today, the Netherlands is actually the largest exporter of flowers in the world, so perhaps it's no surprise that the largest flower garden that's open to the public can be found there. Since its opening, Keukenhof has seen close to a staggering 50 million visitors. That's around the population of Colombia or South Korea. Other equally fascinating statistics about Keukenhof include that around 75% of the garden's annual visitors come from outside the Netherlands, with the majority from nearby countries such as France, Germany, and the UK. The millions of bulbs in the gardens have actually been supplied for free by around 100 bulb growers. For more information on specific flower varieties and about the specific grower that supplied them, there are little signs denoting the name of the plant as well as the supplier. Last but not least, it's worth noting that there are several dozen full-time gardeners who work at Keukenhof all year round. The garden is not just about tulips, though there are over 800 varieties of those, but also includes several internationally inspired gardens, including an English-themed garden, a Japanese garden, a natural garden, and a meadow, among other treasures. Located on an outer extremity of the park, if you've never explored it inside of a Dutch windmill before, then now is your chance. The Keukenhof Windmill overlooks the stunning Lisse tulip fields and can be climbed. Clamber up the steep steps to the top viewing platform and you'll be rewarded with bird's eye views of the Keukenhof gardens sprawling out in front of you. Below the windmill, there are a bunch of tulip borders that make for one of the most picturesque photos of the park. Dotted across Keukenhof, you'll also soon discover that there are plenty of pavilions with toilet facilities, cafes to grab a bite to eat, and shops where you can buy Keukenhof-themed merchandise. Most of the pavilions also have cut flower displays. So, as I said, everyone is really enjoying taking all the photos, but what's really cool is that there are some really unusual photo opportunities. So there's back there, you can take one in a boat. Over here behind me, you can take one in a flower wedding dress. For lovers of orchids, Beatrix Pavilion in the northernmost corner of the park, not far from the entrance area, is the ultimate can't-miss Keukenhof attraction. Filled with all kinds of orchid varieties, including some particularly unusual colours, there are cut displays, and even the chance to purchase some orchids for yourself. Amenities of the Beatrix facility include a restaurant, toilets, and a shop. As you may well have gathered from the fact that Keukenhof is open for just 8 weeks a year, the tulips in the Netherlands don't bloom all year round. The bulbs tend to bloom from the end of March until the beginning of May, meaning that the best time to enjoy the tulips is in April. The gardens can get very busy, especially so during the weekend, school holidays, and later on in the day. If you want to make the most of your time, then you should aim to get to Keukenhof when it opens. This is 8 a.m, so be sure to set your alarm and grab a coffee en route. To make the most of your time in the garden, you'll need to set aside at least 3 hours, as well as time for transportation there and back. Visit at the weekend, particularly during the parade day, and you can expect to find intense crowds and long lineups, even for things like using the bathroom or entering the various flower pavilions. We visited for opening on a Friday morning, and even by 10 a.m, the crowds were already swelling and queues were forming for some of the most popular attractions within Keukenhof, such as the windmill. Situated on the lake closest to Wilhelmina Pavilion, this body of water is also referred to as Keukenhof Pond, where sparkling fountains dance across the surface and a mini island is populated solely by swans and ducks. You'll get the chance to walk across the lake on little wooden platforms and snap photos en route at Walking on Water. If I could give you just one Keukenhof travel tip, it would be to purchase your entrance ticket ahead of time. This one tip will save you money as it's now more expensive to buy tickets in person at Keukenhof. Upon arrival, be sure to pick up one of the free maps to help you navigate the extensive park. These fold-out guides show all the facilities, including toilets, food spots, and each of the flower pavilions. There's free Wi-Fi, though you can still easily get lost, and it's easy to miss even the most impressive of the Keukenhof attractions if you don't know where you're going. It should go without saying that you'll want to wear your comfiest walking shoes. There are quite literally tens of kilometres of pathways stretching through the gardens, and so you'll want to pack comfortable clothing as well. Since Keukenhof is in the countryside, the area can also be a little colder than Amsterdam, and so be sure to bring a warm jacket and scarf along. Finally, you definitely don't want to forget your camera. Last but not least, enjoy your visit. Thank you for listening, and share and subscribe if you want more like this.